Chapter 8, verse 6. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. And pay attention to the fact that a third part of the trees and grass was burnt up. Here we see a picture of the first angel blowing the trumpet, and hail coming down with fire mingled with blood coming down to the earth. And here's a picture of what would seem to be the third part of the earth burning. And we notice that a third part of the grass and a third part of all the grass will be burned, and a third part of the trees will be burned. And if I go back to Revelation chapter 7, verse 2 and 3, the angel who had the seal of the living God cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And isn't it interesting that one of the first things that gets affected here in the first trumpet is the trees? As we see in verse 7, the third part of the trees was burnt up. Okay, verse 8, and the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. Here's a picture of what it might look like. A third part of the sea becomes like blood. I do believe that this event will happen, and then the waters will turn back, the blood will turn back into water, like when Moses, remember when Moses turned the well here Exodus 7:19, and the Lord spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, take thy rod and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout the land, all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. Now Moses did that, okay, and it happened, but afterwards the water went back, the blood turned back into water. So it was not permanent. And I believe that the same thing's going to happen here, because only the third part of the sea will become blood, okay? And it says, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. That means that it probably has to be real blood. Just like it was when Moses did it, it's probably going to be real blood, because they're going to die. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. And here you see a picture of some ships destroyed here, with the water being like blood, okay? Now I'm going to say something here that is my opinion, and it's just an opinion that I have, but if someone tells me otherwise, I can change my opinion about this. But that I'm saying that this could be when the second angel sounded, okay, a great mountain burning with fire. Notice that it was cast into the sea. It doesn't say that it fell from heaven, but rather that it was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. It had a big effect on the sea, because of the fact that even ships were destroyed. But it was cast into the sea. If we go to Matthew 21:21, Jesus answered and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this, which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, which is in Israel, by the way, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. And at that time, we're going to have the 2 witnesses here on earth, which are going to have great faith, and could possibly actually tell a mountain, the mountain that Jesus said, if you tell this mountain, okay, they might just make the mountain be removed, okay, and to be cast into the sea, just as Jesus said that it would be cast into the sea, okay? It's just a possibility. Now verse 10, we read, and the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven. So this one was not cast into the sea. It came down from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of the waters. And the name of the star is called wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Now, obviously, what's happening here is that the waters became poisonous. When this third angel sounds the trumpet, something's going to happen that's going to cause the waters to become bitter or poisonous, because men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And it's going to be in a way that men are not going to know. They're not going to realize until it's too late. So many, because it says right here, many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Maybe it's a chemical attack, maybe some terrorists, go and put some poison in our waters, in the waters at that time. I don't know, but many people are going to die because they're going to drink them without knowing that they're poisonous, obviously. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten. A third part. Again, with the trumpets, it's a third part, which is more than a fourth part with the four horsemen. And the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened. So you can imagine some darkness there. And the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. What could it be? Maybe something that made the sky become dark, but it happens both during the day, shone not for the third part of it, and the night likewise. So it could be something that's like a smoke, maybe from a volcano. So that's the fourth trumpet. Okay, and this brings us to the end of this chapter 8. And at the end, after this 4 trumpets, you think it's getting bad here on earth. It's going to get worse. And John says, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. 4 have sounded, there are 3 more to go, okay? And he's saying, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of trumpet. They're going to get even more severe, even worse, as we will see.